Butter is to be rationed next month. It would be scarcely possible to devise a more harmful piece of propaganda, even if Dr. Goebbels, Germany's Minister of Propaganda, were asked to help.
Rationing. What can I tell you about rationing? Before the war, most of our food came from abroad. Meat, fruit, vegetables, all arriving on ships. But with every square inch on a ship now needed for the war effort, and with the German U-boats sinking so many, bang goes all that. With so little to go around, they've given everyone a ration book. It's meant to be a fair way to make sure everyone gets a share of what's available, and no one can take more than they need. The little cardboard books have coupons that we hand to the shopkeepers. Everyone gets the same amount. Doesn't matter if you're a dustman or a duchess. And when you run out of coupons, well, that's it.
I don't believe they really think we can survive on this for a week. 5 rashers of bacon each, a dab of margarine, a few spoons of tea, a block of cheese the size of an egg, and 1 egg each.
At least vegetables are free if you grow them yourself. So I'm doing my bit. Digging for victory by planting vegetables on our Anderson shelter. My friend Maggie's here to help. Mum calls her Moaning Maggie. You'll see why.
Ugh, my back's aching, my knees are muddy, and for what? More flipping carrots?
We'll be glad of them when the rations run out. And thank goodness they're actually growing this year. Remember last year? It was so cold we couldn't grow a blade of grass. It was like trying to grow leeks in Lapland.
I'm just sick of carrots. Carrot stew, carrot mash, carrot sticks.
Don't forget carrot jam.
I tried to forget carrot jam. I want real jam with fruit, not the watery stuff we get in the shops, and proper white bread with a thick spread of butter.
Butter! I can't remember what proper butter tastes like. And don't get me started on the national wheat loaf. It's a national joke, more like. So grey and grainy.
Don't get me started on Walton pie. They reckon if they give something a fancy name, we won't notice. It's just more carrots and vegetables. Then there's spam fritters. I'd chuck them too. Horrible pink and wobbly. And don't taste so good. And whoever thought up powdered eggs? You can't exactly fry them up and put them in a butty, can you?
As you can see, Maggie really loves a moan. Rationing, though, was a shock to all of us and made us realise how much we depended on getting things from abroad. Before the war, meat was imported, chilled, which was expensive but tasty. Now it's processed and tinned to save space in the ships.
What I fancy is a nice piece of meat. Not just the gristle, that's all we seem able to buy. Imagine a plump, juicy chicken or a leg of lamb.
I reckon Peter's mum has a secret meat supplier. When I was round there last week, they just had gammon for tea. I mean, who has a whole gammon? I was kicking myself. I should have got there earlier and had a slice. You should have seen Peter dabbing his mouth with the napkin, looking as pleased as Punch.
I just want one proper meal, like we used to have before the war. I wouldn't even mind washing up after.
That's how we know things are bad, when you'd rather wash up than eat carrots. And it wasn't just food that was rationed. Petrol was in short supply, and coal too. Some used to turn on the gas oven, open the door and warm their toes up that way. Then there was rationing on things like soap, clothes and shoes. I think that's the one my mum hated the most. Taking up more of Dad's old trousers? Let me guess, they've got my name on them now.
I'm sorry, the clothing coupons just can't keep up with the rate you're growing. Let's just hope the fashion in Oxford bags comes back into vogue.
I suppose all the rations went on my school uniform.
But it's such a bother. Uniforms use so many coupons. If you ask me, it'd be simpler for us all to get plain utility clothes for everyone and be done with it.
What's the utility range, you may ask? It was the cheapest clothing you could get. Basic stuff with no frills. And even a restriction on the number of buttons and pockets, would you believe? The funny thing was that the fur coats and posh things like jewellery weren't even rationed. So if we had pots of money, we could dress like royalty. I can just imagine Maggie and me swanning into school in ermine and diamonds. Imagine Peter's face. We didn't know it back then, but it will be 9 years after the end of the war before things started to get back to normal. Well, the new normal.
Next time, the Blitz kids are on the scrounge, looking to get hold of salvageable things to help the war effort if they can just keep hold of their cart.
Blitz Kids, an inspiring audio production for fun kids, created with support from the National Lottery Heritage Fund. Find out more at funkidslive.com/blitz.